Within this video, I'll be going over a few of the profitable trades that were made yesterday, October 13th. I'll kind of give you guys the insight on how I decided to enter the trades and what were the good indicators for me to have placed specific trades. This video will kind of serve as an intermediate guide for those who kind of want to know more about stock trading and options trading and basically how it works. I'll definitely in the future make a more detailed video that will offer specifics in terms of support and resistance levels and understanding key indicators and understanding patterns and candlesticks and how all these things can work in your favor to kind of use historical analysis to understand when to enter and exit a trade. So today I'm going to start with Tesla. I'm going to put it on the 5-minute chart. And I'm going to go ahead and zoom it in so you guys can see a little better. And we're going to look at historical patterns within Tesla from yesterday. So right here, I love to pinpoint this. This was yesterday around 12:15. So we can kind of see what was going on around this time. We saw definitely a dip. And then again, of course, you're going to need to understand the ins and outs of Thinkorswim in order to kind of see historically what's been going on. And why I chose to take the puts for this particular time, because this is lunchtime. I know this is like a very pivotal time for some that are option trading. Just understanding why you would enter a put for this would make sense if I just kind of explain like the support and resistance levels are always going to be imperative to understand. But I also want to pinpoint this for those of you who may be like, again, new or just have no idea about the basics of option trading. Volume is also very, very important. So we can see here at this particular time, 11:50 a.m., this is kind of what set up the play for me. I was taking a good look at the volume. And again, the volume is all these blue bars you see down here. And just to kind of briefly explain that for anyone who's unaware, volume is going to be the amount of people who are entering this particular trading time, this market of whatever they're trying to do, calls, puts, whatever. The amount of people that are pretty much investing at that specific moment in time. That's what volume will kind of tell you. And within that, I saw obviously there was an increase, and it was one of the highest for the day. Obviously, it started at 11:20 where we had one of the higher marks. But I waited it out. It's always good to be patient. And around 11:50, I started to really pay attention to what we saw as far as dips, and I also started to pay attention to like the floor. So support and resistance, entering this trade here, and then of course just pretty much dragging it all the way down to here allowed for a great amount of profits because we can see a severe dip at this time from literally 12 p.m. all the way down to 12:10. So in 10 minutes, we saw a drastic dip. And that was pretty much how Tesla was played. I didn't do too much with Tesla because it can be very, very touch and go. You can be extremely profitable from Tesla, or you can lose a great amount of money, depending on, just what you're doing. You have to really be careful with Tesla. The Tesla is not one that I would say would be ideal for beginners, just because the plays can be very, very strategic in how you move. Within that, I also wanted to kind of pinpoint TradingView as an option. This is going to be something I would say would be beneficial. I have it on Netflix. Let me put in Tesla so you guys can see exactly what I mean by that. So you guys can see I have it on the Tesla and it's on the 1 hour. Let me put it on the 5 minutes. Perfect. All right, so you guys can see historically, right, what's going on with Tesla. There's been a lot of controversy with this stock, so definitely keep that in mind. And again, do your research, do your due diligence when you're kind of deciding to enter these trades. But again, you guys can see I do have indicators of stochastic is going to be something I always use. Of course, understanding RSI is going to be important. And if you guys are like, I have no idea what stochastic is, I don't know what the RSI means, I'm definitely going to make a video to kind of give you more insight into that. But yeah, you guys can see clearly here from yesterday the levels that we kind of have as far as historical understanding. I'm going to drop it down so you guys can go. Let me do the 1 week. You guys can kind of see this better as well. So again, this is going to be an option for you guys to use. I would recommend TradingView for beginners because I think it's a little more simplistic in terms of understanding charts. I'm going to go back to Thinkorswim just so you guys can see the difference in how you would have the views. It's totally your option to use either one. You can have both of them pulled up. It's completely fine. But I've done enough talking about Tesla. Again, I'm sorry if I'm rambling. I kind of want to make this like a slow walk into understanding things. I'm going to also go ahead and go to Netflix. Boom. Okay. So on Netflix, I'm going to pull them up on the 15-minute. Netflix, I always play them a little differently just based on the fact that Netflix is going to be one of those stocks that is pretty consistent in my eyes. It depends on how you would analyze Netflix. I personally think it's a very consistent stock. And as you guys can see, let me zoom in a bit. I personally took the trade. It's going to be around the same time. So it was a little bit before. So 11:15 a.m. So I kind of was playing the eye for the 10:30 mark. I was heavily paying attention. Obviously, we saw a dip here. So if anybody got in on puts, you clearly were profitable. I waited it out because I saw the fact that this was going to be a key point at that 352 mark where you would kind of want to make sure your eyes are open for what is to happen in terms of, the historical analysis. So waited it out. I made a good entry point here at 353, I believe, 353. And I kind of just waited it out and drove this all the way up to that 355 mark. Now, some may say that was a really, really, risky choice. Others may say it was great because of the volume. That's why I always kind of go back to that as a point of emphasis, because clearly, for example, if you were to see at the start, obviously 8:30 a.m., you kind of see the dips in the volume, and then it kind of, plays that wave of up and down. Now, again, as a beginner, this may not make a whole lot of sense, and I'm definitely, like I said, going to make another video going over more detailed information about how you can understand support and resistance. This is more so just really basic. So as the final hurrah, we got Amazon. Now, Amazon is a stock everyone seems to kind of love or hate. There's really no in the middle with Amazon. This one I'm going to view on I'm going to give you guys the 4-hour chart for Amazon, the 180. The reason being is because I want you guys to see kind of what I'm saying with this. Trending as far as support and resistance, like marks and different areas you guys can see. We see the 123, point of contention, 140. So we're always going to make sure you find the best indicators that are going to be based upon what you need. So I'm going to drop this down to the 1 minute. And we're going to go ahead and zoom it out. And I want you guys to see again how we decide key points for entries and key points for exits, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and put that on the 5-minute and give you guys extreme detail on why this is going to be great. Okay, so with Amazon, clearly we see the same thing. I always kind of focus for beginners. Again, this is just, I knew intentionally I would make this video, so I'm focusing this more so on beginners. So lunchtime is always going to be either extremely profitable for some, or you may just take the L. So it depends on what you decide to do. So clearly we can see Amazon around lunchtime yesterday, 11:40. There was definitely going to be some key clues that there was going to be a dip. So if you call for puts at this particular time like I did, you were able to ride this down from 130 all the way down to 129. And if you kept and you stayed consistent with understanding the charts, then you would have rode it all the way down to that 129. Okay, so it may not sound like a whole lot because it's just a small dip from the 130 to the 129, but understanding again historically what's taken place at 10 yesterday, we see it was at 132, right? So I had a few stragglers that I held on to just because of my understanding of, support and resistance again. I kept those stragglers and kind of made sure they were a part of the profits because I knew essentially looking at this, what was going to be the trend. And clearly it followed through the pattern perfectly. So the execution was exactly what I wanted. I don't want to make this video too long, so what I'll do is, if anyone has any questions, if anyone wants further details, if you would like me to break things down, I'll definitely be going over styles, drawing studies, all these things that you guys see that you're like, I have no idea what this means. I'll go through all of it. I just wanted to give you guys a few of the plays that I took yesterday and how I made those profits, and essentially just giving like an introduction to this channel. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.